Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and today, you guys, we're going to talk about the governor's mansion fire that took place here in Pennsylvania. Thank the Lord, Governor Shapiro's family. They're fine, they're alive, and well, that's a good thing. This is just kind of ridiculous. And I do think that there is a question of America's morality here. I think the right, the conservative, has been very consistent. I think we've been consistent about what we think about this. I think the left, on the other hand, they pick and choose when morality actually matters. So that's what we're going to talk about today, you guys. Now, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that we never miss an episode. And without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and let's take this deep dive. Because again, I think that there's a lot more here than just pointing the finger, saying why this happened as it relates to what was the motive behind this person's actions, as to the fact that the actions are something that is celebrated in America, period. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that, shall we?
There is something that has been on my heart that I did want to discuss. Discipline is a huge part of being productive, being lucrative. I am not for anything that goes against true productivity, true sovereignty of the individual. The choices that we make are what's going to be up for judgment.
All right, you guys. So as I said in the open, we are going to talk about Governor Shapiro's family being attacked in the governor's mansion. And this was obviously an arson attack. The gentleman has been arrested. We are going to talk about him as well. But I do want to just ask that question first, right? So either we're saying as a society that domestic terror is just bad, that it's just morally wrong, morally corrupt, and should not be allowed to happen and should be met with forceful negative consequences for those who engage in these types of behaviors. Or we're saying that this behavior is bad unless it's targeted at a specific group. And I think this is the argument of the left, right? Because again, when it was the summer of love and Black Lives Matter were going up and down the streets just destroying property, they had nothing to say. In fact, that these were just actions and protests of peace and love, right? These were peaceful protests, all the way up to even as recently as the Tesla attacks, endorsed by Jasmine Crockett, a sitting official, government official, advocating for these types of attacks, and nothing from the mainstream media. No, these are peaceful protests. These are not violent protests, even though dealerships are being attacked, even though civilians who could have voted for Kamala Harris, I might add, who are probably green energy, I also might add, are being attacked because they're riding around in a car that they possibly bought several years ago. It's because we don't like Elon Musk. We're going to start bombing Teslas with Molotov cocktails, which is the very thing that the guy who burnt down the governor's mansion, well, not burnt down, but did some serious damage, used Molotov cocktails, homemade Molotov cocktails, to attack the governor's home. Now, I don't care if this guy's mentally ill. The fact of the matter is that it's because it's targeted at a Democrat. Now there's outrage. Now, before I go any further, you guys, I'm going to show you guys the clip of the news media talking about what happened here and what are the possible motives as to why this actually happened and whether or not I think that's actually true. So let's go ahead and let's run that clip first, shall we? All right, guys. So this is a clip that I wanted to show you talking about the domestic terrorist. His first name is Cody. I'm going to call him Cody B because his last name starts with a B. And just kind of getting into some ideas as to what exactly happened here. So I'm going to let it run and then I'll give you my reaction to it.
News learning tonight, authorities are trying to determine if the governor's Jewish faith was a possible motive for the attack. Governor Shapiro with a strong message tonight.
If this individual was trying to deter me from doing my job as your governor, rest assured I will find a way to work even harder.
Authorities announcing an arrest in what has been called an act of arson at the Pennsylvania governor's mansion.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. It is not okay. And it has to stop.
The official residence where current Governor Josh Shapiro lives with his family. The governor saying he was awakened by police banging on his door around 2 a.m.
Last night, we experienced an attack not just on our family, but on the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania here at the governor's residence.
Tonight, police say the suspected arsonist, 38-year-old Cody Balmer, now in custody facing numerous charges.
We are preparing a criminal complaint to charge him. This is not a record yet, but the charges will include attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson, and aggravated assault.
They're currently working on getting everybody evacuated. There's about 25 people inside.
The governor's family evacuated as firefighters battled the blaze. These images showing the aftermath, significant damage to one part of the home. Just hours before the fire, the governor sharing this photo on social media of his family's Seder table as they marked the first night of Passover.
If he was trying to terrorize our family, our friends, the Jewish community who joined us for a Passover Seder, in that room last night, hear me on this. We celebrated our faith last night proudly, and in a few hours, we will celebrate our second Seder of Passover again.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there, you guys. So, obviously, they're making this about anti-Semitism. I'm no fan of this man, you guys know that. And it is quite possible that, was this anti-Semitism? That's possible. This seems to be a major thing that both the left and the right keep talking about. I think that you're finding that a lot with the center of right? A lot of people who are center of left who are suggesting that there is a rise in anti-Semitism. And, well, I have no comment on that specific thing. Do I think that this was about him being Jewish? I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I can't even give you an answer as to what I think this was. This guy could have just been a nut job. So President Trump said he doesn't like me. He's no fan of me. And he's no fan of Josh Shapiro. So he could have just been a whack job. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come out of this video, you guys. And it's, pretty much what I think. I think this guy's just a nut job. I think that we have allowed crazy to sweep this nation, that you have a few people who think that this behavior is okay. Now, I do not justify what this guy is doing. I do not justify Cody Bomber at all. I do, however, wonder, where was Governor Shapiro with the Tesla bombings? Because again, if this is such a problem, where were you condemning it before? And this isn't about me victim blaming. I know people are going to get in the comments and say, Arshel, but you're saying that he deserved this. No one deserves this, which is the consistent argument that conservatives keep making. The Tesla dealership owners did not deserve this. Tesla owners of these cars, the owners of the cars, they don't deserve this. The businesses and the civilians that were abused and criticized and harmed because of the riots that took place in 2020. They did not deserve this. Okay. Now, you guys, I'm going to show you a clip. This is not of the governor himself. This is about a different act of violence that happened against a pro-life activist. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that clip just so we can have a well-rounded viewpoint as to what it is that I'm actually saying here. So let's go ahead and let's run that clip next, shall we? Okay, you guys, so you saw this whole clip. I think if you're watching this channel, you've obviously seen this. Now, I avoided from talking about this because everybody was talking about it, but we do have to talk about the fact, like Governor Shapiro said, that there is a rise in this type of violence. Now, obviously, assault is not terrorism. Assault is not attempted murder and felony arson. It's not those things. This isn't about me judging the level or severity of which violent crime is worse than the other here. This is just my saying that there was no comment coming from the left as to why this was wrong. But again, when something happens to the left, everybody got something to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run this. Let's go ahead and let's do that, shall we?
In foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Look at this.
What's wrong with you?
You have a.
Yeah. I mean, the camera's all over the place right now. So obviously, I gotta rewind, you guys. I gotta rewind.
In foster care and killing children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, every single person you could think of on the right, from Megyn Kelly to B. Tatum to the Hodge twins, everybody was talking about why this was a bad thing, right? We spoke about this. We're talking about the governor mansion being on fire, being a problem as well. The Tesla attacks, that too is a problem. How many times do you got to see a Tesla on fire before the damn mainstream media come out and say, this is a problem? So this isn't, again, for the conservative side, we argue why all of this is bad. This is bad. Just like what happened to Governor Shapiro is also bad. Very consistent, okay? The Tesla attacks as well. Consistent, that was bad. Just like the 2020 riots and the so-called Summer of Love, that was bad. The attack on President Trump's life, also in Pennsylvania, that too was bad. All of the attacks you were seeing towards the Supreme Court justices, this was bad. So I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. When we heard about the plot against Gretchen Whitmer, I'm no fan of that governor. I don't like her either. I think she's the wicked witch of the West, okay? I don't like her either. I don't like Governor Hochul in New York either, okay? But if there was a plot to try and do them physical harm, why conservatives would condemn the actions? Where are the people on the left trying to say that this whole behavior is just bad? I'm going to come out of this video and I'm going to sum this whole thing up for you guys, okay? Now, normally, you guys, I'd have the fun clips, but when I don't have clips, it's because it's that serious. When I don't engage with the fun clips, it's because it's that serious. So that's pretty much what's happened here. Because again, like I said in the beginning, this is a moral question. Either we're saying that all of these types of behavior is just wrong, okay? From punching the pro-life in the face from destroying the mansion, risking, about to kill the governor and his family and his the guests that were staying there. As conservatives, we are saying all of this is bad. All of this is wrong. This gentleman should be charged with terrorism, just as the lady who punched the pro-life activist in the face should also be charged with a crime, which she was, and I give credit to New York for that. I think that was New York. She was charged with assault. But yet again, what happened when that young lady was charged with assault? The left come out in defense of her. Oh no, it was because the pro-life's words were violent. It's because she said something that was factual, that she was so offended that she was right to act out in her rage, that they justify the bad behavior. Same thing with the Tesla attacks, right? Oh no, it's because Elon Musk is the dictator. It's because he is the one who is running the government and not President Trump. We voted this way, not this way. People voted for Trump and not Elon Musk. It is because of their hatred why they will sit here and justify and rationalize this type of violence. But conservatives have been quite consistent. It's okay to surround conservatives, as Maxine Waters said, and make them feel uncomfortable. It's okay to make them feel bad about who they are and to not feel like they have any say-so over their lives. Now, let's talk about this anti-Semitic possibility. Maybe this was because this guy was anti-Semitic. Could that be the case? I don't know. This seems to be a very big argument that seems to be coming up both on, I think, really on the right, which, I'm not a fan of this whole thing. It's because of rise of anti-Semitism. We see that with the college universities. Oh, it's because they're running around here with Palestinian flags and they are anti-Israel. Frankly, I'm neither pro-Israel or pro-Palestinian. I'm pro-American citizen, pro my country. I don't care about that conflict. I don't care the reason. I don't care the motive. I don't care. I don't care if it's because he thought I don't care. I don't care if it's because he's Jewish. I don't care if he doesn't like President Trump because he's, got a relationship going on with Israel. That's a whole other conversation for another day. I don't care what the reason is, okay? I didn't care that BLM wanted to burn down civilization because they are anti-white. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you think the boogeyman of the big white supremacist is coming after you. You decided to harm innocent individuals. I don't care. Your reason? The fact is, you did the deed. You did the bad thing. You did the horrible thing. And this is why you need to go down for that, okay? If you're going to attack people for their political beliefs, this is a crime. They should be treated as such, okay? That's exactly what this is. The right has been quite consistent. I don't care if it's because they're anti-Semitic. I don't care if it's because they're anti-Palestinian. I don't care if it's because they're, pro-Trump or against Trump. If in your beliefs you decide to take violent actions against innocent people because you disagree with them, you're a problem. Okay? We're supposed to be a nation of Western principles where these types of actions are just deemed wrong, not because of the reason for why they're wrong. No. It doesn't matter if it's because you're Jewish. It doesn't matter if it's because you're Christian. Okay? I don't care. The Puritans were wrong, but they were Christian. So, hello. I don't care. I do not care your reasons. I don't care at all. You hurt somebody, violently harming them because you disagree with them, because they're white, because they're black, because they're anti-Israel, because they're anti-Palestinian. I don't care, okay? This is just bad. This is just wrong. We know this is, as people on the right. We know these actions are just wrong. But the people on the left, they want to justify it. So I'm grateful that Governor Shapiro is alive and well, that his family is alive and well. And maybe because these things have happened to someone this prominent on the left, that just maybe, the left are going to start to reevaluate their personal beliefs when it comes to domestic terrorism. Either all of this is just wrong, which it should be, regardless of your belief. Doesn't matter if you're on the left or if you're on the right. Doesn't matter if you don't like Josh Shapiro, if you don't like President Trump, whether you like Elon, don't like Elon. I don't care. Just don't engage this way. This is what we believe as conservatives. And maybe because this horrible thing happened, that maybe something good can come out of this darkness, right? It's like trying to find the silver lining. You don't hope bad things happen, but in the event that they do, you hope that the good can come out of it. And I'm going to hope that the good that comes out of this is that the left are going to start to reevaluate how they act out. No, you can't just go around punching people because they're pro-life. No, you can't go around harming people because they're pro-Trump or they are Jewish. Frankly, I don't care your motive. Just don't be violent. Don't do it, because obviously that's what's happening. And, again, moral question. You guys in the comment sections, let me know what you think about this. Do you think the left are going to change their behaviors after this attack? I don't think so. Honestly, it's a hope. You hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And I think it is a higher probability that the left are not going to change their ways. I just don't believe they're going to change. If you guys get in the comments again, let me know what you think about this, okay? Because I really want to know. Thank you all again for watching. God bless. And Kepla. See you all tomorrow.